I'll be feeling fine, and then someone walks in the room who's in a bad mood, and I can feel it kind of seeping into my soul and making me crabby. It's Christy with the Chirp YouTube channel. I hope that your run up to Christmas is going well, that you're feeling calm, not overwhelmed, and that you are ticking tasks off your list slowly and thoughtfully while enjoying the Christmas ambiance. Of course, if you celebrate a holiday other than Christmas, I hope you're enjoying that as well. Welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be talking about frustration tolerance and how we can help our kids deal with frustration. This is a huge issue, not just for autism, though this is part of my autism series. This issue affects all kids, all people, and especially any child who has any sort of developmental delay, including those who simply have delayed communication skills. Because of course, if you can't communicate effectively, you're going to be frustrated more often than someone who can communicate effectively. I have 5 tips for you today, ways that you can work on this with your kids. I do want to recommend that if this is an issue for you, if you have a kid who's melting down regularly, who can't handle even the tiniest little bit of frustration in life, then I recommend that you get an evaluation, potentially by your school district, just to rule out any other developmental stuff that might be going on that you could be working on at the same time. It doesn't mean anything's drastically wrong, but if there is anything that could be tuned up, then it's better to start doing that tune-up earlier rather than later, because then we don't have so much to catch up on. Get yourself an assessment from a speech-language pathologist if you can. I am a speech-language pathologist, and we work a lot on communication because that's our field. But because we work on communication, we also work on behavior. Behavior is a type of communication, so it also falls under our umbrella. My first tip is to help your child self-regulate and then push slightly. When I talk about self-regulation means that a person is able to stay calm, to stay reasonable, and to stay interactive without having screaming, without hitting, without crying. All of those things are signs of dysregulation, which means that something's off, somebody's a little out of control. I'm not saying that crying is bad, or even that necessarily that screaming is bad. I think hitting is always bad because it hurts somebody, even if it's just ourselves. If I hit the wall, it's still a bad thing because I'm going to hurt my hand. Maybe hitting a pillow isn't a bad thing. We can be flexible on that one. However, there are emotional kinds of behaviors that don't have big negative effects, and then there are some that do. Either way, what we're talking about is we want to help our kid get self-regulated, get calm, and be able to stay calm in spite of frustration sometimes. Of course, I'm still working on this myself, so it's good because I have my own challenges that I can share with the child, and we can work on flexing our muscles in this area together. Some of the ways you can work on helping your kid stay calm and regulated are making sure that your child's sensory needs are met. And I'll put links to my sensory playlist right up there so that you can figure out how to do that. It's a huge issue. And if you suspect that your child has sensory challenges, then please find a sensory smart occupational therapist who can help you and your child work that out and figure out some ways to meet those needs. That's a huge deal, so make sure you're doing that. Also, you need to have a calm voice and a calm demeanor, because our behavior and our mood and our tone of voice can set kids off, even if they were calm. This happens to me still sometimes. I'll be feeling fine, and then someone walks in the room who's in a bad mood, and I can feel it kind of seeping into my soul and making me crabby. And I don't want that. I don't want to be that nastiness that oozes into somebody else. I want to be gold, glowy kindness that supports other people's good mood, and if they're not in a good mood, it helps them move in that direction. So we need to also take good care of ourselves when we're helping our kids. So you stay calm and reasonable even if other people are not. This includes your child. We want to be encouraging our kids regularly by telling them things that they're doing well. Try to focus on particular things that the child is doing. I like how you're sitting and reading that book. Reading helps us get smarter. I see that you're trying really hard. It's hard to keep trying when something is difficult. You're doing that. Good work trying. Think of things: persistence, learning, trying hard, those things that are difficult to notice, but they make the biggest deal in life. Don't just keep saying good job or well done. Tell the kids what they're doing well, and don't compliment them on the outcome. Compliment them on how hard they're working or how smart they're being in their planning, or how they're being very persistent by keeping on trying even when it's hard. Those are the kind of skills we definitely want our kids to have, and so those are the things we need to compliment. Then, in order to help our kids stay self-regulated, we need to make sure that we're balancing tasks. I just read that we should be giving our kids 80% things that are easy for them to do, or not hard anyway, and 20% things that are difficult for them. That is probably about the right mix for me as well. I'm thinking to my physical therapy appointments that I'm still going to for my injured ankle. And that's about the balance. I do about 80% things that that help my body gain strength and that help my pieces work the way that they're supposed to and keep on being flexible and strong. But the other 20% is harder and pushes me a lot more. If it were more than that, I think I might not want to go back. And if it's less than that, then I'm thinking, why am I going at all? Because I know how to do all this stuff and it's not that hard. So that's a good thing to keep in mind when you are working with kids, even in your home. Try to get that balance. 80% things that are not too hard, that are easy or moderate, and then 20% things that are more challenging. Those are good options for helping kids to stay regulated. Once our kids are regulated, then we need to start pushing things a little bit. I'm going to assume in this video that you know what is causing your kids frustration. Sometimes we don't know, and that makes it very difficult to cope with. So I'm going to assume in this video that you do know what's causing your child's frustration. We will talk in a different video about what to do if you're not sure why your child is frustrated. In this video, we're going to assume that you do know. I'm going to assume there's a truck on the shelf. Your kid wants the truck, and it's your job to get it. As you know, I always recommend that your child's favorite things be stored out of reach so that he or she needs to communicate in some manner the need for the truck, the want of the truck. And then he or she gets the truck. So let's assume that you have done that. Your child's favorite truck and all of his other favorite toys are up on a shelf out of his reach. He really wants the truck. And he's super frustrated because you are not right there at his beck and call, getting him the truck before he even knows that he wants it. So he starts banging his head on the shelf and yelling. Of course, there's always yelling, right? It's usually not just banging your head. There's usually more stuff. It's more intense than that. So he's banging his head and yelling. So you come from the other room, you talk him down. Oh, okay, you help him grab the truck picture, you put it in your hand, truck please. Oh, okay, I want the truck. You get him the truck, and he is fine because his frustration has passed. You solved his need. As time goes on, he will get better at the requesting part of this. He will get better at not getting quite as frustrated as early. Also, there comes a point where he expects that you will jump on it right away, and so he's not having quite the level of frustration he did because he knows how to get what he wants now. He knows that if he hands you this picture, you will get the truck for him. So he is feeling a little calmer and isn't quite as liable to bang his head anymore or scream. At this point, you do want to push things a little bit. And the way that you want to push things is by creating a lag. A lag means, of course, that you don't do what he wants immediately. There is some distance in time between him asking for the truck and you getting the truck. In the meantime, of course, it's our goal to help him stay calm so he doesn't go back to his old behavior of banging his head and screaming. So what you can do is, when you know he's going to ask for the truck, have something in your hands. Be stirring something on the stove. Be putting something in the microwave. Be helping another child with something. As soon as he comes to you with the truck, you can say, truck please. Oh, okay, truck. 1 minute. Truck in 1 minute. And then you finish what you're doing, and then you go get the truck for him. The whole minute you're saying, almost there. Here comes truck. Mama is coming. Truck is coming. You're repeating over and over that you're on it. You're not ignoring him. You haven't abandoned him. He will get the truck. It just is going to take slightly longer. This is a great method for helping kids reduce frustration because they're getting the feedback that they need, that what they want is indeed coming. And yet you're stretching their ability to handle a little bit more time before they get exactly what they want. I need to practice this too. When I'm waiting in line, I usually can wait in line for a certain period of time before I get annoyed. And before I start looking around me and thinking, you don't belong in this line, you should be over there. And that cashier is not even paying attention. She's on her phone over in the corner. She's getting paid to be here. She needs to be at a register. So I start getting real judgmental and kind of mean inside my head when I have passed what I consider to be a reasonable amount of time waiting in a line. You can imagine your kid in this situation. When he has reached a reasonable amount of time waiting for the truck, he's going to start getting agitated. And we want to, for myself, I want to stretch the amount of time that I can be kind inside my head, even though I'm waiting in line. What that means, of course, is that I have to practice waiting in line for slightly longer and longer periods of time. So that instead of getting annoyed at 2 minutes waiting in line, I can try 3 and 4 and 5. And then eventually I can wait 10 minutes in line if I need to, and I'm fine. And I'm not having angry, judgmental thoughts because I've been waiting in line, and I don't like that. That's what we want to do with our kids too. We want to expand that bubble of comfort so that waiting a minute, waiting 3 minutes, maybe even someday waiting 5 minutes for mom or dad to get something off the shelf that I am waiting for isn't such a big deal. It's hard and it takes some time, but this strategy really does work. Wow, I had no idea that I was going to explain in this much detail about self-regulation and then pushing a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this video here, and I'm going to do a video next week about the other 4 tips that I was going to share with you today. Surprise, you get 2 videos for the price of 1. I'll be back with you next week to talk about those other 4 tips with you, and thank you for watching. Don't forget, please give me a like if this video is helpful for you. Don't forget to subscribe. I don't really care how many subscribers I have so much, but I do care that families and other professionals who could learn from this information, who could have a better relationship with their kids or students, do find this channel. And the more likes we have, the more subscribers we have, the more YouTube promotes these videos. So it's very helpful for other people if you participate and you join this little community. Feel free to leave me comments or questions down below. I would love to interact with you. I hope you're having a happy December, and I will see you next week. Bye. Do you guys want to see a little surprise? I found this when I was out for a run a couple of weeks ago. Look, it's a baby kitty. Look at his sleepy little face. He's a very good boy. Oh, very sleepy, honey? Yeah, he's got toys in his tent with him, and he's very happy to be warm and dry.